Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Hitchcocks Motorcycles. Today's video is going to be on this bike, the Royal Enfield Interceptor Bear 650, a bike that I like so much I've bought one myself. So this is my Interceptor Bear 650 in the 249 colourway, which is a tribute to Eddie Mulder, who competed in the 1960 Big Bear run aboard his Royal Enfield Fury 500. That was the inspiration that Royal Enfield have used to develop this bike. But to actually understand that, we need to look back through the history books, and I happen to work in the right place to be able to do that. So here at Hitchcocks, we're really lucky to have access to the Hitchcocks private collection, which includes a lot of the paperwork and files from the Redditch factory, and it also contains a large collection of classic motorcycles. So come with me upstairs now and we'll show you where the inspiration for Royal Enfield came from. So we're up in the rafters of Hitchcocks HQ today. I'd love to get this bike out for you, but it's an absolute nightmare to get it from up here. It's up in the Hitchcocks private collection. This is the bike that inspired the Bear 650. This is the Fury 500, not the bike, but this is a Fury 500 that was the same bike as Eddie Mulder won the Big Bear California race on in 1960. This is actually the last ever 500 Fury to come off the production line at Royal Enfield. So we'll show you around the bike and give you some of the features. So this is the last Fury 500 off the production line. The factory build calls these bikes a West Coast woodsman. 193 Furies were listed in the factory dispatch record, with 10 350 Furies being made, which not many people know about. They used a tuned version of the Big Head Bullet 500 single, and they also used a lightened 350 flywheel. They were designed to compete with the BSAs, Triumphs and Harley Davidsons of the day. They had a QD headlamp on some, which was removable when you got to your race meeting. They had a very unusual socket allowing a quick removal process. This is a very similar bike to that which Eddie Mulder competed on in 1960. His, of course, would have been race prepared. Mulder's bike was prepared by Mal Dinnerson in Bakersfield, California. The standard bike made around 40 horsepower, but anecdotally, Mulder claimed his bike was faster than the competing 650s. Mulder started the Big Bear run in a field of 765 other competitors. The course was 150 miles of grueling off-road competition. He completed his run in 4 hours 21 minutes, and there were 192 other finishers out of those 765. With a name like Fury and only a small number originally produced, this motorcycle was clearly designed with competition in mind. Equipped with a large 1.5-inch AML GP carburettor, a competition spec cylinder head and a lightweight alloy barrel, these machines were primarily used for off-road racing. As a result, surviving original examples are rare, making this model one of the most desirable and highly collectible classic Royal Enfield motorcycles ever built. Hopefully you enjoyed that upstairs with our Fury 500 and the archive data. Now let's go to the modern bike. I'll run you through the specs and we'll look at some of the similarities. So this is a bike that's been a long time in coming from Royal Enfield, obviously taking inspiration from the Fury 500 that we've shown you upstairs. This is the Royal Enfield Interceptor Bear 650. This is actually my personal bike. I like this bike so much that I decided to get one myself. We do have one here at Hitchcocks. It's currently in the workshop being developed for some special parts, and hopefully we'll get to show you that later. So I'll briefly run through the specs for the bike with you, starting with the motor. It's obviously the 650 motor that's been tried and tested in a number of the Royal Enfield bikes, the Super Meteor, the Shotgun, the Classic 650, the Interceptor and the Conti GT. The difference here is the 2-into-1 exhaust pipes. This bike produces approximately 47 horsepower and 56.5 newton meters of torque. So at the front of the bike we have a 19-inch front wheel tubed with MRF rubber. We have an upside down 43mm fork by Showa with 130mm of travel. We have a 320mm front disc brake with a twin pot by brake caliper. Okay, so moving to the rear of the motorcycle, we have a 17-inch rear wheel tubed with MRF rubber. We have a twin shock setup with 115mm of travel. We have a 270mm rear disc with a single pot by brake caliper, and at the back we do have switchable ABS. So in terms of tech and electronics, there's not much to speak about with this bike, but we do have, as I mentioned earlier, switchable ABS at the back for when you're off-roading, and for the first time on a 650 twin we do have the tripper navigation dash. We also have LED lighting all round. And finally, at the front of the bike, we have a USB-C charger for keeping your devices topped up. One of the key factors when choosing a bike to replace my Interceptor was the fantastic colour options in which this bike comes in. Now, I picked the 249, which is undoubtedly the best option, but all of the other colour options are great too. Which one is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. Unfortunately, the weather's beat us, so we've had to move inside again today. But my initial thoughts on this bike after riding it for 1,000 miles, after owning an Interceptor for 3 years or so, is that this is a much nicer place to be. The ergonomics for me are much better. There's not so much of a reach to the bars as there was on the Interceptor. The fit and finish with the switch gear and the triple dash makes it feel like a much nicer place to be. The foot peg position for me is much better. I'm no longer skinning my shins like I would have done on my Interceptor to start with. I don't know if they've changed them, but it may be that I've just got used to the Interceptor and I actually put my legs in the right place now. But initially with the Interceptor, there was plenty of bruises going on. Suspension, the front, fantastic. I really enjoy those Showa forks. They take a lot of the hits of the road out and they've been more than capable so far. The rear shocks are firm. There's no two ways about it. But I'm a bigger guy and I'm getting on okay with them. It is something that I'm going to look to improve. I'm going to try something with a little bit more rebound adjustment so that I can dial them into my weight and my riding style. Here's a sneak peek behind the scenes of our development work on the 865 Bear. So hopefully you've just seen a little bit of footage, a little sneak peek of the bike behind me. This is our 865 big bore kit on a Bear that we've been developing in the background. Neil, our performance engineer, has been working really hard on the fueling, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to bring you some videos for that very soon. In regards to my bike, in the next few weeks, hopefully we'll have some videos together for you. The first one will be on how to fit the exhaust and how the decat pipe works. I'm really looking forward to bringing you that. And hopefully I'll be able to bring you some really good sound footage so you'll be able to hear exactly how this bike sounds with a decent exhaust on. After that, we'll be looking at luggage options and we'll be looking at the rear suspension. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief walkthrough of the Bear 650. It's a bike that I'm really enjoying and I'm hoping to make it better in the near future. All of the parts and the accessories for this bike have already been populated on the website. They've been there for a while. We've got quite a range of accessories direct from Royal Enfield and some aftermarket parts. And we've got the official parts book online for it as well. If you do have any questions about the Bear 650 or any other Royal Enfield, please feel free to drop us an email or give us a call. But my name's been Matt and thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.